అసలు వినబడలేదా? Good morning, all the delegates. Today's resource person, Dr. Jalil sir. Am I audible?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Now you are audible, sir. Please continue.
Good morning, everyone, all the delegates. Welcome back to day 2, session 1. Today we have with us Dr. ABD Jalil sir from Iraq. Sir, can you hear me? Dr. Jalil sir? Dr. Jalil sir?
Okay.
Dr. Jalil sir? Please unmute your video and audio, sir.
Mic is off, sir, on top. Amma, presenter.
Hello. 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 Sudhar sir.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's quite early for you. It must be 7:30 somewhere. Thank you very much for coming, joining us.
It's too early for our country, but not for me.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Sir, before starting the session, I'll just give a brief introduction about you. After that, I'll pass on the mic to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Dr. Jalil Abidi Jalil Abradki, born 6 March 1983, is an assistant professor of English and literature at the University of Al-Qadisiyah, Iraq, specializing in modern poetry. He earned his BA from University of Al-Qadisiyah in 2005, MA from BAMU University, India in 2012, and PhD from Acharya Nagarjuna University, India in 2018. His doctoral thesis focused on themes of futility and anarchy in T.S. Eliot's works. He has published several research papers on poetry, feminism, sociolinguistics, ecology, and multiculturalism. He has participated in multiple international conferences and supervises postgraduate students. With this introduction, I would like to hand over the mic to Jalil sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, am I audible, sir?
You are audible, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank the Babatley University College for engineering for hosting me for this international conference. I'm so glad to meet with you people. I would like first to thank Dr. Malis Rawa, Assistant Professor, Head of the Department, and the convener of this conference, Dr. Venkat Lakshmi Kanchti, and Dr. Sudhir Kumar and Dr. Kalyan Kumar for making this opportunity possible for me. Yes, and yes, today I will start talking about my topic, especially the one that is conducted by the Babatley College for Engineering about the about English and under the topic, sorry, Voices Across Cultures, Innovations in Language and Literary Discourse for the year 2026. Actually, this is greatest topics when we talk about English, especially the branch of humanities and social sciences. English, as we all know, is a window for the world. It unifies all the people from different parts of the world on the educational level and on the cultural level. Through the years of studying and dealing with the English literature, we have encountered many different topics about cultures, cross cultures, and many other social issues that are touching our daily life, especially the nations like India, one of the biggest nations in the world. Today, I have selected a topic which is a great voices, which is the voices between the host and the homeland, which is one of the most dealt with, one of the most handled themes in literature, and especially English literature. Given the fact that many people do not stay in one place for living, as they travel, and along with this travelogue, they initiate a new life, and along with this new life, branches of literature sprouting, especially those diasporic artists and writers. I have selected the Indian context due to the fact that it's not because of me studying in India or having an association with Indians, but the fact that Indians are traveling in different places around the world, and they have produced a very great artistic writers who have put the rules for others to follow, like Sivak and Jumbala Lahiri, Amit Ghosh, and Amitav Ghosh, sorry, and most recently the Canadian young poet Rupi Kaur. But before I explain 2 or 3 examples of these writers, diasporic writers, I would like to show the importance of the post-colonial studies supported by Indians around the globe. I mean, and when we discuss such discourses on the critical level, on the critical discourse, we have the post-colonial discourse hosted by critics and poets, and among the most important is Gayatri Chakravorty Sivak, is a prominent theorist in literature, which is supporting the indigenous people, the marginalized people and women from minorities in her societies and in the host land that she has traveled to the West, and she has offered for many thematic concerns about those marginalized people. And apparently her text, her contribution to the literary field has been contributing for analyzing many textual pieces of literature, especially in the fiction genre. So she was an Indian by birth, and she has traveled to the West, and she has brought about foundations in literature and criticism. And among her most important essays is the one "Can the Subterranean Speak?" and which was written in 1988, which is the most influential essay about the marginalized groups, particularly the women in the global South, who cannot speak with the dominant discourse because they are not heard or presented by the elite Western and sometimes the feminist point of view. And again, another term that she has coined and that has contributed to the literary context is strategic essentialism, which she coined as a concept that allows marginalized people groups to adapt to a simplified, unified identity for the purpose of political action and social justice. But this idea was not an inborn idea, but it's just a coined idea. It's just an initiated idea for a purpose. And another term that she coined is deconstruction and translation, which was one of her most fundamental works that has contributed to the to grammar, introducing a deconstruction to English-speaking world in the year of 1976 as a translation of Jacques Derrida's De la Grammatologie, which is a grammatology which has brought a wide citation for that purpose. Again, Sivak has also coined the post-colonial critique in a work known as A Critique of Post-Colonial Reason, 1999. She argues that the Western metaphysics often excludes and courting the others, which are the non-Europeans, preventing them from being seen as fully subjects or humans on other level. And again, another critique that she has produced as part of her literary career was a palantirity, introduced to this concept to encounter or to face the hegemonizing effects of globalization. As we know, that globalization is sprouting and prospering and calling for more inclusive and ethical approach to literature that recognizes the shared humanity beyond national boundaries. Again, this is because the world is globalized, and as we all know by the technological advancement, the powers in the Western world is trying to keep control through technologies and so on. So she has raised these issues and trying to find the rights of the people from minorities to the women who are not enabled. And on the translational level, she also has contributed to that translation and advocacy of non-Western text in order to bring to the light the other writers beyond England or the US, in which she translated and provided a critical analysis of Bengali writer Mahashwita Devi's work, Imaginary Maps, highlighting the experiences of marginalized and tribal women on the remote far places. And finally, the practical pedagogy engaged in a long-term practical activism by running rural schools for marginalized communities in India, which she argues has informed her high literary theory. So her contribution to the literary theory has been a good source for scholars from all over the world to provide a textual analysis for their thesis, for their essays, for their ideas about the literary demands. And now I will shift to another writer who has migrated from the West Bengal in India, and then lived in England, and then traveled to different places from the West, like the US, Canada, or even Europe, which was the novelist Jumbala Lahiri. Again, she was a second generation woman who has been brought up in England, and she is one of the most important novelists now in the US, among the most selling books writer in the US. She has written short stories, novels, and essays in literature. And she's a bilingual. She speaks, different languages. She speaks the Hindi language, which is the Bengali, and then she speaks also English, in addition to other European languages like Italy. And she has a novel which is Whereabouts in Italian language, which she has translated herself. So she's one of the most important novelists, and she was recognized by the US government, and she was awarded a medal by the former President of the United States, Barack Obama, for her literary achievements. And then on the short stories genre of literature, she has wrote many books. Among them is the Songs of Melodies. And now I'm discussing three major novels that she has written. I'll start with The Namesake. As an example, traveled from India and settled in the United States of America. And this family is a small one that has traveled from India and got some burdens and impediments to cope with the US settings. And the young boy who was brought to the Ganguly's family was named, the name of the novel is The Namesake. His father and mom and his generation. As you all know, that this is a generational conflict that is to be initiated as we travel from one place to another place. So this is one of the most important issues that anyone can encounter when changing a place of living. And at the same time, we have so many other texts written by Jumbala Lahiri. And Whereabouts is another novel that she has brought to the front of English literature, which is a novel that tackles the problem when we travel to a different country in a different part of the world. And she has selected the title Whereabouts in order to show the reader that there are different places that we go and we are not willing to go, but we're still going, but not enjoying to the full extent. That's why the title is Whereabouts, in which she encountered different episodes at the restaurant, at the swimming pool. But the novelist has come up with a different style, which is the style of the unknown narrator. And when we read the novel Whereabouts, we will be unfamiliar with who is the novelist. And then it's difficult for us to interpret or to grasp the idea or the purpose behind this action or that behavior. The human behavior is detected in this novel specifically to show that the mind of human is cryptic, unfulfilled, and has no perfect purpose to accomplish. So sometimes the narrator is joining a meeting with people, and then she withdraw. And on the other episodes, the narrator join others for dinner or for lunch, but she decided to again divert from that meeting. So the human mind is complicated, entity, which we also have the same experience. Sometimes we want to do something, but we are not 100% willing to do it, so we withdraw from that. And this is a disjoint, sprawling novel I advise you to read in order to explore or to assimilate with the behavior of your own and how you act nowadays. And the last example I would refer to is The Lowland, another novel known by the title The Lowland, which was written during the time when Jumbala Lahiri has written this novel in order to reflect the time period of the Indian communist conflict and the Nextile movement during the 60s, I guess, in India, and especially in the Bengal, which is a novel considered as a political novel, but it's just a novel about the social unrest during that time, during the 60s, which is the lowland is a geography in India, the Punjab. That's the title of the poem is known as The Lowland in order to show the geography and the terrain of the place in the Punjab, and especially in the setting and the time for the novel. In this novel, there were two brothers, Odian and his brother Subhash. They both lived together since they were young boys. They lived together and they have different personalities, actually. One is an outgoing person who's Odian, who was killed savagely by the paratroopers or by the government forces or whatever you can call it during that time. He was a patriot, nationalist, and he was a revolutionary who joined the Nextile movement along with his wife. But his brother Sabash is a totally different person who's a sapper, a professor eventually, and he traveled from India to America again. So this the voice of a travelogue, the voice of the homeland and the hostland is initiated in most of the literary context that we are dealing with, especially in Jumbala Lahiri, one of the most important novelists nowadays in the US, one of the most selling writer in the United States of America and the West. So the story of the lowland reflected into two different lands, the Indian subcontinent and the United States. The characters in the novel lived in two different places, except for Odian, who never traveled, who fought for a purpose that we can consider him as a patriot, who joined the Nextile movement and who was terminated and savagely killed in front of his family. And then eventually his brother has to travel to the United States to complete his education, and then his wife, the widow of Odian, also traveled, and then she has developed from a wife of a patriot, a wife of an insurgent who fought against the government, and she's named Guri. And then Guri developed on the personal level. She has remarried again with the brother Subhash, and Subhash in his attempt to try to try to mend the problems created by his brother's absence, and that he has remarried the widow of his brother, and then they shifted to the United States. And in the United States, they have also met with some problems, and then they returned to the homeland in different and several times. But the voice of the homeland is so prominent in the characters, as we all know, and especially in the first generation. So this creates a kind of a clash, a conflict that cannot be passed or crossed easily, and it can has an impact on the behavior of who we are and how can we form the identity. As we all know that there is always displacement, identity crisis, and marginalization in such different places that we all know as a host countries. And now I'll shift to another example that I have selected for this speech today, which is Rupi Kaur, another another poet, that young female poet from the Punjab, a Sikh girl who has traveled to Canada at the age of 4. Her father and mother took her with them to the to Canada, and then she lived there. And she is now the most selling writer in the United States. That was in 2007 when she sold 1 million copies of her volumes in poetry. And she has written Milk and Honey, The Sun and Her Flowers as the main two main volumes of poetry, which she has offered for different themes about the personality, the character, and the displacement, and many other issues that are related to the life in different places. Among the themes that she has also focused on, that's invisible yet overwhelming experience of navigating two worlds. She describes the feeling of having one's life split between two lands and acting as a bridge between the two countries, which she has actually succeeded to live different experiences in. On the contrary, with her mom, who has suffered and was always looking for the Indian food, the sari, and the experience back at home, which are very rare at Canada, given the fact that nowadays some parts in the United States, England, or even Canada look like Indian settings due to the efforts of the Indian, we can say majority, not just minority, those foreign countries. And another thing that she has focused on is the in-between state. As you all know, the in-between state is this threshold that is emphasized by K. Home Bhabha, another critic from India, from Bombay, who has also written many different articles about the cultural influences. Among his books is the location of culture, which is very important source for writers, scholars, and researchers who are interested in post-colonial studies. Location of culture. He focuses on the third place, or the in-between state, or otherness. Kaur describes at times the contradictory existence in her native Punjab. She feels more Canadian, yet in Canada she feels too brown or out of place. The sacrifice of memory. She often reflects on the living, not just the place, but the version of life, including the version of our parents that exist before migration. Home as the last place left behind. Kaur's work frequently reframes the definition of home and gives a new idea for it. Rather than a fixed geographical location, she often describes home as a lifetime of longing. So there's always a sense of longing and a memory and loss, even in this young daughter that was traveling at the age of 4, as she experiences, as she feels the agony of her father and mom as she grew up. Memory and loss. Home is often as a place left behind, with memories and all these episodes of living, even if it was not comfortable to live. The longing as an aspect. Her poem reflects a deep. This is a poem by Kur, known as The Longing, which reflects the deep nostalgic longing for culture, language, community, or even religion, feeling that often persists despite the comforts the comforts of the homeland, the hostland. So there's always good things to enjoy in the hostland, like the facilities, like a good place to live, schooling, and even jobs. But the human mind always recluse back to its basics in order to live this nostalgic sense, which always drags man back to the origins of who we are. We cannot deny. So, to conclude, my dear delegates and scholars who are interested in this, the cultural studies in literature and English especially is a rich, fertile ground to study and to research. And especially the Indians are very excelled in this branch of literary discourse. As I have mentioned earlier, the critics, the novelists, and there are many, many writers, novelists who have contributed to post-colonial discourse that I have very short time to number here or to mention here. But the fact that the research scholars always look for some good topics to write about, and these are a very fertile ground to go through. I hope that we all find some good place in life to live, whether it's a homeland itself or a hostland. The human psyche or the self fluctuates between places, between even times, and look always for comfort. And the problem is that the people are traveling to find good places to live, and they go to the finest places in the United States or in England, and then they change their mind, and they are not feeling comfortable anymore. They want to find different places. I mean, they sometimes regret to go back home and live their own normal life that is not imposed upon them. So it's very difficult for any human to adapt, to accustom to a new environment, to a new language, or even new habits, which is a very difficult. And we cannot feel this unless we are traveling on our own. So the writers always find it as a good ground for writing, for expressing their own experience and the discrepancies between homeland and the hostland. So I hope that I have contribute whatever it can be to this conference, to this international conference. And I again thank Dr. Sudhir and Malisra and others who are working on this conference. And I will be there for you if you invite me one more time over the next year. I'll look forward to contribute again. And thank you very much, the English PEC 2026. Thank you very much. I'm glad if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, thank you very much, sir. Now the floor is open for a discussion. Any delegates want to ask any questions, they can type it in the chat box or raise your hand. Mr. Ajendra Singh asked a question, sir. Can you see the question?
Yeah, hold on a second. How can I reach to these questions? I mean,
okay, shall I read it for you, sir? It's in the chat box.
In the chat box, I got it. Yes, I'll get back to it. Yeah, looking forward to listen for okay. Yeah. Okay, people are introducing themselves, but yeah, I read the question by Jindra Singh. Yeah, uh, very happy to hear from you, sir. I'll read the question and then I'll try to come up with uh, how can the voices of homelanders in the host land be interpreted as a diaspora element becomes by intersectionality? Well, this is this is a complicated issue. I mean, the voices of homelanders in a host land. Yeah, so how can we call homelanders in a host land? I mean, it's a double concept. So yeah, there's always, as we all know, the diaspora is the people who are traveling from their own country and live there in another country and write about. How can we have double displacement? I mean, if you are traveling country to another country and then how can this intersectional? I mean, I don't understand the question, but I can figure out that Mr. Ajindra Singh is posing this to discussion. I mean, all I know about diaspora is a person who traveled to another place and he encounter the problem, and in that country we call him what? We call him a diaspora. We call him a host land. Uh, uh, he's in a host land in that place, and then it's called. I don't know why Mr. Rajendra say a double displacement. Displacement from your country is okay. You are displaced from that country. But if you are expressing some attitude about being, for example, marginalized, but you are not displaced. If you are marginalized, then it's just a treatment you are getting. If you feel that you are cornered, if you feel that you are treated as another, as a second person, or what we call a citizen of that country. Suppose an Iraqi or Indian lived in Detroit, and they still call him Mr. Citizen. That's not displacement. The person is still living there, but he's having some problems. He's unable to um, digest those people. He's being cruelly treated. That's not displacement. That's not, I don't know if Mr. Rajendra is satisfied or not. There is no double displacement in this. In, in the case of someone traveling to another country and not feeling well, not assimilating to the community. But if he travels to a third country, then that can be called displacement, double displacement. I hope my answer is good enough. So
He says you are right.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy. If there is another question, or I'll be there.
Are there
That's
any
only one question, and thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Before I close, let me thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Jalil, for that wonderful and insightful session. Great voices of literature between home and host land. Your scholarly perspectives and engaging presentation have truly deepened our understanding of literature across cultures. We are sincerely grateful for your valuable time, inspiring and thoughtful academic contribution to this conference. Thank you very much, Jalil, sir. And dear participants, there will be two paper presenting sessions. They will go simultaneously, session 5 and 6. Okay, 5 list we will provide with the link. 6 list we will provide with the link. Kindly check and join in which room you are supposed to join. Okay, please make sure that in another minute we will post the links in the group, WhatsApp group, along with the list. Please check and join. Okay, actually it is supposed to start at 11:30 a.m. If anyone is ready, we'll start it right now. Okay, slowly we'll complete the session. Thank you very much, Jalil sir. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I would like to
Contact
say
you.
thank you for Alice. Thank you
Yes.
very much. And look forward for more cooperation. Thank you very much. And thank you
Sure.
for everybody else.
Thank you. Thank you. ఇందులోంచి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి.